I've got the looks and the charm of an old movie star. Cary Grant, if you will, so I find it bizarre that this girl should refuse to step into my car. She must be shy, she'll come around, it's just a matter of time. Aurora, Aurora, Aurora.
Hey there, Screen Beans, and welcome to Screen Snark, the podcast that continues to go as the actors do on the picket lines. I am Rachel Corky Shank. Morning. We're doing a morning record.
And I am Matt, a.k.a. Stormageddon, who has a throat full of hamburger.
You know what? It's the greatest tagline in the history of taglines, frankly.
Yeah.
Has a throat full of hamburger.
I didn't think about going out and doing karaoke the night before I record a podcast the next morning. And so, you know, this is what we're dealing with. But I've sounded worse. I feel like
choices were made.
Yeah, it's fine.
They truly were. Well, how do you segue from choices were made into introducing the guest? You know, that's crushing it. It is. Okay, here we go. This is how I'm going to do it. Doesn't matter. We've already segued. I'm so excited. I'm so delighted. I'm so stoked to bring on a guest. Yes, I got one this time. Sometimes it happens. Usually it's a wrestler. Yes. And this time it is also a wrestler because these are my friends now. Welcome to my weird world. Please give your warmest welcome to the one, the only CPA. Welcome, CPA.
Hello, how are you?
Good.
Thanks for having me.
We're so happy to have you.
My throat is also destroyed from wrestling and screaming pretty much nonstop for the past 2.5 weeks.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Today's my first day off in a while, so.
You know, the fortunate thing is neither of you had to enlist a robot to be you on a podcast.
That's true. I remember that.
You remember Rachel Bot?
Yeah, Rachel Bot when you had no voice. Yeah.
No voice, just had to type in things as fast as I could and then press play. Madness.
We're really excited to have you, CPA. I'm delighted by your clips online, your wrestling, and I'm excited to get into more of that. And we will interview about all that cool stuff in just a moment. But we will start, as we always do, by talking about the most recent thing we have consumed. And Rachel, who's going to go first this time?
Oh, gosh. Matt, can it actually be you?
Yes.
I'm, once again, very ill prepared.
Oh, shocking.
I have to think, what have I done? What have I looked at? I'm so busy.
I'm happy to go
This
first.
is the only thing I do. Just this podcast, but somehow I'm so busy.
It's fine. We have so many things to do. Well, I'm happy to go first. And actually, what I brought today was inspired by our last guest, Adam Bucheri. In that episode, I had mentioned that I was starting to get into survival horror games and like more spooky stuff, a thing that I had always run away from just because I'm a coward. But I found out that also people who like scary things like to be scared. Like, that's part of the deal. And I was like, oh,
yeah,
you can be afraid of the thing
freaks.
you like. It works that way. So I wanted to give a brief shout out to Iron Lung, which I did play after Adam recommended
Cool.
it. It's only an hour long, and it's got one of the best jump scares in the history of jump scares. I don't want to say more than that, but it's only like an hour long. It's a real fun indie game. It's like $6 on Steam, and I highly recommend it. But the thing I actually brought today is a horror game that I bought last year on Switch and never got around to and finally played. It's called Signalis. And it's a sci-fi focused game. You play as a replicant named Elster, and your ship has crash landed. And you are trying to figure out what happened. You're trying to piece together your memories. And it's a lot of like psychological horror, like think like Silent Hill, the old Silent Hill games and stuff. Like you're not sure what's real. And it's a lot of discovery and exploration. It plays, it's got kind of like the similar tank controls to like the old Resident Evil games on PlayStation. And it was a lot of fun and scary as hell. It's funny too because one of my friends was like, "Oh, it's not that scary. They're just creepy things walking around."
Oh no, but like as we all know, you and I, tiny little babies, scared of everything.
Correct.
No, thank you, jump scares. You may pass over this house. Go on, get out of here.
And so, yeah, it's an indie game that came out last year or 2 years ago. I can't even remember now. And it's by Rose Engine, published by Humble Games, and it's a nice like little. I'd say it was like 10 hours to get through, maybe,
Oh, that's
or
not
maybe
very
8
long.
hours. I mean, it took me a long time because I died. Like, I'm probably anyone who's good at games would get through it in like 6 to 8 hours. But also, I don't want to say how, but I got. There's like a faux ending to it, like a lot of really good horror games have. And I was like, oh, I beat the game. And then my friends were like, you didn't beat the game. Go back. You missed something. I was like,
You messed up. You done donked, Matthew.
but yeah, it's really cool. The ambience, it's like minimalistic synth music, and like sometimes it jumps into first person view instead of like third person top down view, and you're like exploring weird things, and like and a bunch of puzzle solving like the old Resident Evil games have too. Like you find a key, but you don't know what the key is for until you like go to like 3 areas later, and then like there's a locked door, and like you also have limited inventory. You have 6 slots of inventory, and that includes any weapons, any ammo, and any key items. And like it was just it's stressful, but like in a good way. It was really an excellent game.
Hello, welcome to this game. You're absolutely fucked. How fun.
Pretty much.
I love that.
I mean, that was
that.
That was pretty much it. Yeah.
Oh, damn.
And it's also got this interesting. Some people think it's a love story. Some people think it's a friendship. But it's like I don't know. It's between 2 women, and I just prefer to assume everyone's gay. It's just more fun that way.
Yeah, I like my catchphrase "gay until proven otherwise."
Right. Exactly. That's a good one. And yeah, so it was really a lot of fun. I highly recommend it if you've got a Switch. It runs really well on Switch. Like it noticeably runs a little slower than it would on other consoles, but like
Yeah, but the Switch is she old.
well, and also it's the
In the land of consoles, she old.
yeah. I mean, there's supposedly a new one coming next year, but like also it's one of those games that
I'll leave it when it's over.
right, exactly. It's one of those games that because it's like mostly polygonal, like it has like mostly polygon, like PlayStation style graphics. It doesn't matter that it's like a little slower and looks a little different because it's got that kind of old school, like classic video game look, and it looks really good on the Switch. So yeah,
I dig that.
fun stuff.
Well, Matt.
Yes.
If you had to sum up Signalis
Correct.
in just 3 words, and you cannot use Signalis, how would you describe this indie video game?
How could I possibly not use the word Signalis? I also do want to say before I give my 3.
Yeah, it's so ubiquitous in our
right,
language.
yeah.
Like
I do want to say before I give my 3-word review and stall a little bit. The reason I didn't go over the narrative,
we're stalling.
The reason I go over the narrative much is because I don't still really understand it because it's kind of like trippy and out of sync and out of order. But also, I think the narrative stuff that happens that you grok are some of the best parts of the game, and so I literally don't want to give any of it away. But I would say old school horror would be my 3-word review.
Old school horror. Love that. Bangarang.
Bangarang. A
Bang.
tight 9 minutes.
Perfect. Perfectly done. Well, I think I shall go next.
Okay, great.
Sort of give CPA time to sort of grok our narrative of what we're doing.
Of what the
here.
hell is
Actually,
going on?
I already have my answer. I consumed bacon and eggs this morning.
Oh, there you go. Perfect.
Perfect.
No notes.
It was
know?
my three words, old school horror.
Hey, what is a plate if not a screen for food?
Exactly.
Think about it. Oh, we could become a food podcast.
We could.
Are you kidding?
I mean, I do eat a
Ooh.
lot of food.
I fuck with food. You watched me at your birthday party around them hors d'oeuvres.
Oh yeah.
I was a little. I was so full,
It's
but
the food.
I was like
Food was good.
dying.
Food was
I was
good.
uncomfortable. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Happy birthday again.
Thank you.
Bud. I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, that was not me stalling. I already had the thing
Okay,
that I
sure.
was going to talk
Uh-huh,
about.
sure.
So once again, Chaboy over here did not have any time to watch anything that is not Struck, because the things I'm consuming are old good things, slutty old lady things. I can't talk about it here, but I love it. It's still great. Perfect entity
no notes.
that ever existed. Not saying what it is. But I did have quite a weekend leading one Charles Stunning around as Charles's manager.
Right. Yes.
her growth in the squared circle is of great importance to me. But I was very fortunate to mosey on up once again to Brattleboro, Vermont, for yet another Blitzkrieg show.
Nice.
This and what's very silly is I'm pretty sure this one was not for air, so it was just a little intimate live show. May or may not end up on the internet. CPA is like shaking head no. So I would love to talk about that.
Sure.
If that is acceptable. Overall, a really good day of wrestling. Learned some really important things about the watching of. Mostly, don't make a baby cry unless you really actually mean to make a baby cry. Someone got a little aggressive with a child who got kind of shy and kind of uncomfortable, and then they started crying. It was wild. It was wild. Wrestling makes babies cry. Things that we're learning, things that we're seeing. But yeah, I think all the matches were really strong. CPA, you might have to help me out because
I wasn't there.
I know you weren't there, but TJ Crawford. Oh, TJ Crawford.
You mean Silver Kid?
Yes, Silver Kid. Matt, I need you to know that I'm learning a lot of names. I'm learning a lot of names.
Are you?
A lot of them, and I'm terrible with names.
Right.
Classically bad with names.
It's true.
Over here. So I kind of sometimes talk about wrestlers via their descriptions or like how they've just sort of like manifested in my brain. And TJ Crawford is the Windy City Kid and also the Silver Sniper. So when I was trying to talk about him, I could not conjure
Couldn't
his
remember
name.
which name was which.
Could not. Hey, remember classically when Judy had to DM me the name of someone?
Yeah.
That happened.
Yeah.
Fucking Jay Karma to message me. Jay Karma. What is my brain? What is my life? So when I was just like talking about him, I just could not get his name, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just think about his gimmick. So it came out, the Silver Kid. There he is. So it was the Silver Kid.
Muscly guy and Silver Kid.
Yeah. Famously,
Yes,
the Silver Kid.
Yeah. Muscly guy gets kind of confusing as a descriptor in the wrestling world, but here we are. But it was TJ Crawford, not the Silver Kid, against the Honey Badger something.
Nailed
Sure
it.
was.
Honey Badger guy. And honestly, it was really, I think that one was like kind of the standout match for me. So I'll sort of like focus in on what was really cool about it. Like, it really played with pacing and two people not necessarily like being the bad guy in a ring in a way that like I am just now sort of like getting a grasp on how to spot character dynamics in
How
the
could
ring.
you boo a Silver Kid?
You can't boo a Silver
It's
Kid and you can't boo
impossible.
a Honey Badger. It was really a like both these guys kind of match,
Like,
you know.
a gold kid, like obviously he's born
Yeah.
privileged. Silver, not so much.
Yeah.
Silver,
right?
yeah, Silver, a real underrated mineral.
Real underdog story.
The true underdog
Silver,
story,
the
exactly.
true underdog story. I'm not gold. What do you want? But no, it was really great, and just watching them sort of play with pacing and finding that bit of comedy still within it while being like pretty athletic dudes. I loved it. I think every match had something wonderful to like learn and glean and enjoy and get hype for. But yeah, I recommend Blitzkrieg Pro as like an indie to like look at. They have other stuff out there that's not this weird secret show in Vermont. That wasn't a secret. I don't know. How does wrestling work? I think that their selection of characters and dynamics is very fun. They do what is it? A luau? That's just a big like a rumble scramble.
Well, no, the whole show is a luau. It's the Blitzkrieg Pro luau. It's every June or July. I don't remember.
A summer show.
Yeah, so like they dress up the ring with tiki torches, not lit.
Obviously.
All those things, and then people come out with cute shirts on, everything.
Nice.
Yeah, they have like a big, like mother of all scrambles, like battle royal situation at the end,
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
which I won last year.
Wow.
Last year, not this year.
Wow.
But still, wow, winning
an
something.
expert.
We did it.
Winning's really hard to do.
I know how to.
have to work really
I
hard
know how
to
to win
win.
mothers over. What can I say?
Every mother's favorite, CPA.
The mothers love CPA. I mean, they should. Like, your entrance stuff alone.
It's true.
Those songs appeal to the moms out there. They love them. They love them so much.
Well, Rachel, if you had to, I guess, sum up all of Blitzkrieg Pro Wrestling.
Oh boy, the whole promotion, of which I've only seen a tiny bit.
In just 3 words, what 3 words would you use to describe Blitzkrieg Pro?
Silly hometown wrestling.
Nice.
Yeah,
Straight to
because
the
it
point.
feels like they've got just a little cute community, like people show up again and again, they get very excited, so it's got sort of like that hometowny like vibe, like very, I don't know, maybe I'm just partial because it was the first promotion I ever went to when I first started training. I don't know, but every time I feel at home there, I feel really super welcome, super included, super empowered. It's nice. It's pretty nice.
That's awesome.
That's actually my review.
It's pretty nice.
Nice.
Excellent. Well done. Well played.
Yeah.
Well, now it is on to our
Yes.
lovely
Are
and
you
delightful
emotionally
guest
prepared, CPA?
to tell
what
us
is-
what the most recent thing you have consumed besides bacon and eggs today.
Damn.
Recently.
Though, if you could describe those bacon and eggs in 3 words, how would you describe them?
Silly hometown wrestling.
There you go. Nailed it. Nailed it.
Oh no!
What's the most thing? So I was gonna go into like a whole album, but like I don't know. I'm gonna go off track too much.
Yeah,
So
break the
literally
rules.
this morning, I heard a song by a band CKY that has been around forever. And there's a reason why it's so significant. So like yeah, CKY has been around since I was a teenager. Like I remember hearing about them. Maybe I heard a song or two. Not really, nothing noteworthy. But this morning I was getting a ride to a train station to make it to this podcast today. And I heard the song, and I already made it the caption on an Instagram post. Disengage the Simulator by CKY. Now, the song is very good. It's very like, I don't know, I can't really describe it because like I also heard 2 other new songs today, so I'm just like, my brain is a little scrambled. But the reason, and also I, wrestled the past 3 days and all that other stuff. The reason it is at least like currently relevant to me is because I did a show in August and I was in a dumpster match where the loser gets thrown into a dumpster, and afterwards, I got thrown in, I lost the match, I got the lid closed on me. And then like seconds later, the lid opens up and someone dumps an entire trash can filled with bottles and cans and all this other stuff onto me. And it was none other than the lead singer of CKY.
Amazing.
Who were doing a set after the wrestling show was over.
God.
He was very nice about it. I saw him and I was like, oh, I recognize you. He's like, sorry, man, I got a little too hyped up. And I'm like, you know what? It was just bottles and cans. There was no food in there. If there was food in there, I might have had a different, we might have had a different outcome. Might have had a little more of a physical altercation afterwards.
Yeah.
Or just me throwing up on him. But, yeah.
I mean, that's still a physical altercation of some kind.
I mean,
Yeah,
throwing
but it
up
was just-
is a physical action.
Yeah, it was just, bottles, cans, maybe, a few half drunken cans of White Claw. But it could have been a lot worse, especially with my weak stomach. But yeah, Disengage the Simulator, CKY, really good song. I'm probably going to, as my my mental limitations or whatever, I just tend to listen to songs over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Until they get on the on repeat playlist.
Right.
And then I find another song a few days later, do that, until the on repeat playlist becomes the only thing I listen to for the next few months because I have no self-control. Music to me is kind of like bite-sized candies or foods. I just kind of eat them, and I'm like, oh, there's nothing left. Great. So do I have to do the 3 words?
Yes. Yes,
Oh.
you do. But
Damn.
So I just wanted to ask. So you were not a diehard fan of CKY beforehand. You were familiar with them, but now this new song you're really digging, and so now, do you think you'll go back and listen to more of the old stuff too?
Once I get tired of this one, I certainly will try. That's kind of how I do it. Yeah, I have no recollection of listening to a single one of their songs before today. I've known of them for years.
Sure.
But yeah, just never really delved into them. But yeah, I'm definitely gonna go back to the drawing board and see what else CKY has to offer. We'll see how that goes.
I have a question.
Go off.
What's a CKY? Can someone give me like the elevator pitch of this musical group? Because I don't think I've heard anything they've ever done.
I think CKY stands for Can't Kill Yourself,
Yes.
which is
Usually the letter ones are hiding something really sinister.
like CPA.
Like CPA. I wasn't
CPA.
gonna say it. But
Yeah, CKY is like an old school punk band. They've been around for a long time. And yes, you're right. It does stand for Can't Kill Yourself, according to the Wikipedia page.
that's dark, y'all.
It is dark. But yeah, they've been around for a long time. They were like a 90s band is kind of more when they started, and they'd like have gone around. Like, I guess better than punk, it's like more like alternative rock, post-grunge. So it's like heavy stuff. It's like heavy guitars.
Okay,
and,
cool.
Yeah, they've been doing music in and around. Like, they're from this area, from New York. Yeah, I think they're from specifically Pennsylvania, like the tri-state area. But yeah, they've been around since around 1998 till now, and like it's kind of heavy, hardcore stuff. If you're into the kind of like 90s heavy rock, like that's kind of their style. I haven't heard the new song though. The new song could have evolved beyond that, but that's kind of the vibe they had back in the day.
Love that.
I should point out the song is from 1999.
Nice.
Just heard it today.
Nice.
Delightful.
Oh, okay.
Hey.
So it's not a new song. It's a song from 1999.
Not a day too late.
Not a day too
You
late.
know, hey, it's never too late to discover your new favorite
Yeah,
band of antiquity.
It's true.
The 90s,
Who
you know,
also-
antiquity.
Who also threw garbage on me. It's
You
fine.
also threw
Also threw garbage on you. Yeah.
I was putting the caption together and I was like, wait a second. Is this the guy who threw garbage on me? I was like, oh yeah, of course. And then I put like hashtag the guy from CKY dumped garbage on me.
Nice.
Unfortunately, there were no previous results for that hashtag, but
Well, you know,
Yeah.
you could start a
We'll work on it.
movement.
We'll
You
work
never
on it.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah, y'all are just gonna have to make it an agreement. Every time you cross paths, he's gotta like throw garbage on you.
I can't be the only one.
Yeah.
There's no way.
It's got to be a thing that he's done before, right?
You know, maybe
like-
maybe you're the first one to step out into the light about
Yeah,
this
to
very
call him out.
serious issue.
Get him.
Others will follow suit now that
Yeah.
you've made the first step.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, CPA, if you've had to sum up the song, Disengage the Simulation, was that correct? That's the title?
Simulator.
The Simulator. Disengage the Simulator.
Yeah.
What 3 words would you choose without using those 3 words in the title?
Yep. Yeah, I know that was really hard. It's like ubiquitous to our language.
I guess it would be like. Hold on, I'll think about. Damn.
Yeah, it's tough.
I really want to
even
do silly
songs.
hometown wrestling so bad, but I can't. I'll do
You have no idea, man.
angsty, unsure, relatable.
Nice. Hell yeah. All right.
I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I like that.
That's good.
No,
No,
I
it's
read
good.
the
Doesn't
I
have to
read
be
the
a
lyrics.
sentence.
I'm like, yeah. I read
Yeah.
the lyrics. I'm like, I don't know if I'm supposed to relate to this song or not. I'm just gonna pretend I do.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It doesn't have to be a sentence. Even if it is a sentence, Case Aiken will absolutely ruin it.
Okay. All right.
With
Calm
these,
down.
With these extraneous periods
calm
that
down.
he
All
just
right,
like
all
has to. The demon has to use periods,
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
Sorry.
Relax.
Sorry.
Boy, howdy.
Sorry,
Boy,
I got a
howdy.
little heat
Why
there.
don't we change the subject and talk about
Yeah.
the incredibly handsome and delightful CPA?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've been scoping out your stuff. I love that you wrestle in a dress shirt, slacks, and a tie. And like it doesn't hamper your movement at all. Like you do drop kicks, you jump off the top rope. It's awesome. Growing up, did you always like, is wrestling a thing that you've loved since you were a kid? Is that something that you've always wanted to do, or is it something that you got into more recently?
Rachel's gonna answer my questions for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, CPA has but two loves in this life. Number one, accounting.
Yep.
Just for it, living it,
mean, it makes
loving it,
kinda in the
doing
name.
it. Second, wrestling. It's also a thing.
A distant second.
Just in second, yeah.
Right.
A close second though. How's that? Am I doing it all
You're
right?
doing great. You're
Cool.
representing
This is the
me
first
very
time
well.
I've been commissioned by the guest
To answer their
the
question
questions
for
for
them,
them. So
No, yeah, I got into wrestling when I was, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, somewhere in that
Yeah.
block of time when I was like starting to learn how to, learn what I liked independently. I think, so I used to stay over at my dad's house every weekend, and he had like VHS tapes. There was like, when you want to, because he used to work nights, so he would get home, he would go to sleep, and then I would wake up before him, and I would just hit a button, and a thing would happen. And like the one day, I don't know if I was being a little curious explorer, or the tape ended, or the tape disappeared, whatever. But I like stumbled upon wrestling, and it was the first thing I saw was Papa Shango, who was a voodoo priest character,
Yeah, sure.
basically.
What?
Yeah.
And that is kind of what drew me to wrestling, was like The Undertaker and Kamala and Papa Shango and Giant Gonzalez and all these creepy characters. And then I saw actual wrestling, and I was like, oh, like Bret Hart's cool, and like Hulk Hogan and all these dudes. And then I don't know, I just kind of like kept rolling with it. The video store by my house had a very chronologically confusing collection of videotapes. So I was just, like I didn't know like that WrestleMania 2 comes after WrestleMania 1. I didn't know any of this.
Right.
I
So-
still don't know this.
Yeah.
What? They go in numerical order?
Silver Kid.
Silver Kid.
Silver Kid.
So I was watching all the stuff in like weird order. So it'd be like one show, I'd be like, oh, it's Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty as a team. And then the next show I'd watch, it would be like Shawn Michaels is a bad guy and he's wearing chaps.
Right.
And the next show I'd watch, Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty would be back together. It was just very weird. But it kind of like, I think it made me appreciate wrestling more because I didn't really know like the storylines. I just was watching it in like completely like out of order, no context to what was going on, until I was like, oh, this is like on TV every week. Because to me, that was just what was happening.
Right.
And then I just started watching it every week, and not every week, but I started getting the magazines to my house and all that stuff. And eventually I got old enough to realize that I wasn't doing anything else with my life and I wanted to be a wrestler. So here we are.
It's a magical story. I mean, it's funny. Like, I don't watch as much wrestling now as I used to, but like in the 90s, like I loved wrestling. And you mentioned folks like Papa Shango and The Undertaker. And like even I love Psycho Sid Vicious. Like
Yes.
all of these like larger than life characters. Like also I was like into heavy metal and wore dark clothes. So like The Undertaker was destined to become a favorite. Well,
Yeah, the Venn diagram of wrestling fans.
right.
Nailed it.
But-
Hit the brief.
But like I love the theatricality. I mean, like I was looking at the Blitzkrieg Pro, and like Gangrel is a part of that these days.
Yeah.
And like I mean, like a guy dressed as a vampire in a poet shirt drinking blood. Like it was this
drinking real blood.
Real blood.
Viscous liquid.
Viscous
Really,
liquid.
a really real vampire here.
It's just
happening.
like I love that. Like I like serious wrestling too. I love the tacticians like you talked about, but the dumber and goofier the matches were, the more fun I had, because I loved to believe that it was real and that it was like Undertaker was gonna bury a person alive. They were gonna die.
Yeah. It is real.
It's super real.
That was like the confusing part too for me. It was like, okay, like he won a casket match against Kamala. Is Kamala
Is he
gone?
dead?
Is he
Is that
gone
his-
now?
yeah,
Is
what
he
happened?
Dead forever.
has he crossed the Rainbow Bridge? Is he done? Like, what are we doing?
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, he had to go to he had to go to the jungle doctor for a few months, and then he came back.
Right,
I
obviously.
don't know. It was very.
They're superheroes. We're
Yeah.
superheroes.
Yeah,
it's
it's true.
fine. It's cool.
I'm curious, while learning to be a wrestler and coming up in the wrestling world, becoming a CPA and like actually getting, taking the exams and getting certified must be a lot of work to like do that at the same time, right? It's just, all of that stuff.
So-
I would like to answer for CPA as is my duty. Yes, it is very hard. The exams also very difficult, but CPA succeeded. Navigated the rigorous
Murky
curricula to achieve the status of being truly certified. Yes. So to answer your question,
Yes,
for sure.
But also like the doldrums of office life. Honestly, like I just always wanted to at least see how far I could get with wrestling, and I was like, you know what, I've reached a stage in my career where I can just kind of venture out and do my own thing. And I did. And originally it was going to be like weekend softball for me. But then, I don't want to skip ahead too much, but like I'm currently like one of the trainers at Rachel's wrestling school.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm very of the opinion of like, if you're going to pay someone to teach you the highs and lows and the finer points of wrestling, you should at least try to get something out of it. Like weekend softball is cool, but I don't know. What are you going to do the rest of the week? And especially if you're, again, putting so much, because like wrestling is a very time consuming thing. Like you're going to the gym, you're going to training, you're getting beat up, like literally and figuratively getting your ass beat multiple days a week, and then you're going to shows and you're meeting all these strange people who want to shake your hand but they don't want to put full pressure when they shake your hand. And you're just supposed to, it's an unwritten rule that you're supposed to shake their hands, and you're doing all that. And like, I'm not necessarily antisocial, but I don't want to walk around and, hey, guy I've never met who maybe one day will throw me a few bucks to wrestle on his show. I don't want to interrupt you while you're eating a peanut butter and bacon sandwich and shake your hand.
Delish.
I don't want to do it, but I have to do it. So I'm like, hey, why don't I just give this whole wrestling thing a try? And I started to, and like, admittedly, it took me a while to kind of get the needle moving a little bit, because I am an office body by trade. So becoming an athletic fighter was a little more of a stretch for me. So it was a big uphill battle, but I finally, again, over the last, I don't know, year and a half, 2 years, finally started to make something of this whole wacky, weird, unpredictable, emotionally, mentally, psychologically tormenting thing known as pro wrestling. But that being said, and I say all that kind of like in jest because I do enjoy it, and I don't know, I get a lot out of it. I've met some very, very fun, cool people that even if I stop wrestling tomorrow, I will be friends with them. And I've also learned a lot about myself through becoming a wrestler. So yeah, I kind of just went wrist deep into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do what I can here. And as a result, I've done some cool stuff, and would I do it all over again?
Yeah, CKY threw garbage on you.
The lead singer.
Come on.
How many of
Pinnacle. You've been bopped in the chest by Paul White.
Hold on. All these people I went to high school with who have really good, they work for sanitation. They're going to retire in the next 5 years, and they have kids and white picket fences and nice houses. Have any of them got garbage dumped on them by the lead singer of CKY?
No.
I don't think so.
Yeah, if the hashtag is to be believed, no.
Yeah. None of them have done it.
Yeah.
No.
They breaking new ground.
None of them
CPA.
have gotten slapped in the chest by an all-timer wrestler in front of 20,000 of their hometown
Yep.
compadres. So hey,
Yeah, and me, I was there too.
You were
I
there.
watched.
Yeah.
I watched the slap happen, and then milliseconds later, the sound of the slap made it to
Yeah.
me. That's how far away from that shit I was. Hoofa doofa.
Um,
Sound was different up there
Boy, howdy.
in the nosebleeds of Arthur Ashe.
yeah.
I mean, but it must be really exciting to get to be someone who grew up watching wrestling and then to go one-on-one with Paul White, the giant, this man who has busted his ass in the ring for so long and done so many different gimmicks and like been part of so many different institutions. Like, it just must have been really cool to be in the ring with someone like that.
I mean, at this stage, yeah, like it's been like a slow growth of like, okay, you know, like I wrestled like Tommy Dreamer in one of my first matches, and I grew up watching it.
Yeah, of course, sure.
Like I teamed up with Larry Zbyszko in one of my first matches, and I believe what is his last match ever. Like I've wrestled Jay Lethal, I've wrestled The Big Show, I've wrestled like all these very, very like, I don't know, just people that I've literally watched on television, and like I don't look at it as like, oh my God, this is like, I've worked so hard for this and blah, blah, blah. I'm just like, hey, it worked out. Like that, things worked out on that particular day. And like win, lose, or draw, like at the end of the day, I'm like, hey man, I used to have that guy's like, you know, action figure, and now I'm wrestling him.
Yeah.
And it's kind of, it's a cool little kind of turnaround of like, oh, that's not what I was expecting to be doing on this particular day of this particular year of my life, but I did, and that's pretty sick.
Yeah.
I could have just been sitting at home listening to CKY, and instead I'm getting kind of assaulted by one of the band members.
Yep, there you go.
So
Living the dream.
yeah.
Aren't we? Now, I do have an important question to ask. I know I often don't ask the questions.
Oh, you're welcome to ask as many questions as you like, my incredible co-host.
I heard a little rumor. A little bird told me that you got abandoned at a rest stop.
What kind of bird was this?
One that
Was
we
it
yell
a
at.
Toronto Blue Jay,
It
maybe?
was maybe a Toronto Blue Jay. You know, we like to yell at birds here, and sometimes they tell us stories back. What happened with getting abandoned at a rest stop for 2 hours? I say, having already told my side of the story on this very show.
Oh, boy.
A couple weeks ago.
So
you deserve to get this out
Tell
there.
my story.
Right.
Tell your
Share
story.
Tell
your
story.
side.
Yep.
This is my side of the story. I've been wrestling for, you know, about 10 years now, give or take. While I do understand that there are people who think I'm a delightful person, generally, not that I don't think I'm a good person, I could super absolutely see why someone would be like, yeah, I don't know. I've spent a lot of time in a car with you. I'm just like kind of like whatever about it. Like let's see other people today. You know what I mean? That sort of thing.
Let's take a break.
Yeah,
Take a moment.
Let's take a little break.
Need a
And that's,
second.
Again, super understandable. I get it. So to say that I've been waiting for this sort of incident, this sort of thing to happen for a very long time, expecting it to happen, waiting for it to happen, whatever, would be, you know, not speaking out of, not talking out of school. But picture it. It was September 10th, 2023, about 5:45 in the morning.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm at a Sitco in Bloomingburg, New York.
I watched him Google Maps. I was like, here we go.
Google Maps timeline, kids. It is
Wild.
it's a good alibi to have, honestly. You'll never, like, if you're telling the truth, you could prove it. I'm not. I'm telling all the truth and nothing but the truth in this situation.
Right,
Yes.
of course, obviously.
So it's me. It's Rachel. It's another wrestler, Bobby Orlando, driving in a car. Rachel is driving my rental car. Don't tell budget. I don't
Nope.
think that's supposed to happen. Bobby and I are sleeping. Bobby's in the passenger seat. I am in the back seats, sprawled out. I think someone had a pillow, right?
I
Someone
brought
had
a pillow.
You brought a pillow. Rachel brought a pillow.
I'm very nice.
I was super comfortable, and I wake
snoozing.
up. I wake up and I look up and I'm like, oh, we're not driving. We're stopped. And I sit up and Bobby is sitting in the passenger seat. I'm like, hey, what happened? He's like, oh, I think Rachel is going to the bathroom. I'm like,
I had to pee so bad.
Right.
Sorry.
and I am a serial pisser. I piss.
Oh, I can
every
relate.
20
Gotcha.
Yeah. I'm the guy who will be like, hey, can we stop at this rest stop? Or if someone else has to pee, but they don't want to own up to it, they'll say, hey, CPA, you have to pee, right? And I'll say no just to make them feel bad
Right.
about it. And then once they really, I'm like, well, I do have to pee. I'll be like, I actually do too. I won't say it until we're already done. But anyway, so I sit up. I'm like, you know what? I got to pee too. I'm going to go pee. So I get up and I walk into the sit go and I find where the bathroom is. And, oh, wait, sorry.
Right.
Backtrack a little bit. I said to Bobby, I'll be back. I'm going to go use the bathroom as well. And Bobby says, okay. And lays his head down and I guess goes back to sleep.
Totally falls back asleep. Can corroborate. Got in the car.
If
totally
if he
asleep.
was ever even awake.
Which
Who knows?
So I walk in, I visually acknowledge where the bathroom is, and I walk to the bathroom, and Rachel comes out of the bathroom, and Rachel and I are like two ships passing in the night. You know, we're like 6 feet away from each other, but I'm like, I saw Rachel saw me, we're good. I didn't even think we saw each other, we're good. I just said, that's Rachel. Rachel used the bathroom. I'm going to use the bathroom. And then we're going to finish the
we're
last leg of
psychically
this.
linked now.
Yeah, we're going to finish the last leg of this trip.
While I must say, in this moment, I was full tunnel vision. Just like could not register anything. Just like straight back to the door. Didn't know anyone else was in the space.
Right.
I was like, the counter guy's behind me. No one is here.
Yep.
Completely unaware.
Yeah.
By the way.
So I go to the bathroom. I use the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
I walk out of the bathroom. I walk out of the sit-go, and I go outside. And I'm like, oh, the car isn't there. Weird. There was a like minivan at the pump next to us. I'm like, maybe I can't see it.
Right.
So I take like 2 steps to the left, and I'm like, nope, it is not. The car is not there. It's decidedly not there. So me, you know, it's wrestling. Wrestlers are very, we do very lighthearted little things to each other just to pass the time sometimes, especially on long car rides. So I go around to the back of the building. I'm like, maybe they let's play a little Josh on CPA and go to the back of the building so he thinks we left him, because that would be crazy. I go to the back of the building and there is no car back there. There is just the wilderness. And I look at the sky and I look back down to the floor and I'm like, huh, interesting. I text Rachel, I believe, was the first person I texted.
I don't know. We got none of these alerts because Bobby was asleep and my phone was connected to the car, and it was like, no, you don't get to know if anybody's texting you or calling
Or calling you.
you while your phone is the car's brain.
Do you remember the text I sent you?
Yes, I do. Would you like me to relay it back?
It's your story to tell.
It's 45 minutes later, after CPA is standing in a parking lot contemplating the sky and the ground and whether or not he has been abandoned. The sun is coming up. Bobby wakes up about 10 minutes from his house. And he looks in the back seat and goes, "Where's CPA?" And panic mode ensues. And very quickly grab the phone, open it up to a text message, 3 missed calls from CPA, and a text message that says, "I believe you left me at the rest stop. Just come back and get me after you drop off Bobby, period. IDK."
That's so polite. I would be so much
polite.
meaner.
I
would
was
be
so
angry.
distraught at this point. Distraught. Barely keeping it together. Holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. Yeah.
So thankfully,
So anyway, that's why I am not becoming a wrestler. That is why
You've retired.
I'm just not allowed. But Charles Stunning, the one I manage, we wrestle all about town.
Yeah.
Right.
But I am banished from wrestling.
thankfully
And
there
that's
was
the story.
there was a diner next to the gas station. So I walk in, and of course, what was it, Bloomingburg, New York? I assume they're a very middle class. I don't want to be mean. A little bit like I was listening to the conversations they're having. A little bit of a hillbilly-ish town. So a guy walks in with a button-down shirt and a tie with his face on it, and they're all like, "I don't think you're from around here." Kind of like the Blues Brothers scene.
Yes.
Kind of like that.
Yeah.
I walk in and they're like, "Hey, what's up?" I'm like, "I got left at the gas station. I'm going to order food. I'm not going to order it right now because I don't know how long I'm going to be here. So I'm going to order it in pieces." So I ordered like one thing and then I ate it and I checked my phone. I still hadn't heard back from them. And I was like, "All right, I'll take corned beef hash also. Bring that out when you can." And then finally Rachel called me, and it was just like, it was such a strange, I pick up the phone and I hear, "Hi." I'm like,
Stay massively upset. Gotta roll. Hi.
and I hear Bobby go, "Okay, I think I'm going to drive because Rachel's freaking out."
Yeah, I'm panicked.
Yeah. And then about 45 minutes later, Rachel pulled up. And that was that. That was pretty much that. Could have been worse.
Could have been worse. It could have been
Could have been better.
I mean, yes, that's true too.
Yeah. So lessons were learned by me for sure. For sure. Just wake everybody up at every rest stop. Just wake them up.
Yeah.
Just be like, "Hey, we're at a rest stop. Got pee. Got to check on them." You know, like, it's fine. It's fine. Wake them up. Check in. It doesn't. I just wanted to let everybody sleep because, like, we had been driving from like 9 p.m.
Yeah, pretty
Like
late.
we drove overnight.
Yeah.
So like this is a very sleep deprived crew. And I, the person who did not wrestle the whole trip, felt a moral obligation to be the one to safely drive the sleepy wrestlers and let them sleep.
No.
Nobody gets this. Not on my watch. Everybody wakes up. I'm like, "You gotta pee. We're at a rest stop. You gotta pee. We're at a rest stop. Got pee. We're at a rest stop." And then,
Or at bare minimum, at least just check to make sure that everybody's in the car.
But
Before you leave.
But I did, and I hallucinated your feet. In the same way, I did not see you in the rest stop. I was like, okay, cool. Everything's great.
I get the sense that not
But-
only the wrestlers were sleep deprived.
Oh, yeah. No, I
Yeah.
I was running on, like, a nap in the back of the car. It was great.
Well, I just have to commend you, CPA, for still associating with Rachel after all of that.
Yeah.
Because
Oh, yeah. Don't even. I was like, this
You're-
is
you're
the
a
end
very
of my
good man.
friendship with CPA. Uh-oh.
So again, I'm blown away that it hadn't happened already. But also, like, the other part of me, the kind of the doomsday part of me was like, if you were gonna leave me, why didn't you just leave me in Canada? Because like I looked at in the event that, because also like my doomsday brain is like, oh my god, what if they got held up? What if they got into an accident? Blah blah blah, whatever. So I looked up public transportation to get home, and it was like 2 hours. And I'm like, man, if you're gonna leave me at some random gas station, why couldn't you leave me in Canada? So at least I don't have to go home.
Yeah. And then maybe you could have found a moose.
We could have found a moose
Yeah.
in the back of a gas station instead of an empty gas station back.
Sorry. I promise the next time I abandon you somewhere, it will be
A nicer
in,
place.
Noted moose territory.
Right, please.
So that you might befriend and mount a moose and it becomes your steed.
It would be pretty epic to ride into a wrestling show on a moose. I think that would be
moose.
pretty dope, if I'm
Yeah,
honest.
that's what I want for you.
It would be literally unprecedented
Yeah, it's
in
true.
every way, shape, and form.
Probably pretty
Violent.
trying for the moose.
Violent. Yeah.
Violent, yeah.
Well, thank you for sharing your side of the story, CPA.
Yeah,
I'm
I
glad
felt
we
it was
got that.
important,
We had to get that out there.
since I brought it up
Yeah, it's
a
true.
couple weeks ago.
It's true.
Actually, I'm a
only
little
fair.
offended that you didn't do like a Notes app Twitter apology about this.
That's true. You do owe Charles Stunning does owe.
No, Charles Stunning didn't do this.
Right.
I did
You
this.
did this, right.
Charles Stunning is perfect.
Right, Charles. Did
She's never done anything
All
wrong
I
to
know
anybody.
is some pink-haired freak left
That was
me
me.
at
me.
a gas station.
Rachel.
So yeah,
did
you
that.
owe CPA a public Notes app apology on Twitter, or
Here's my story.
here's my story.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, it's really difficult to do this.
We've had a rough time.
But you know, I'm
but I-
taking accountability for my actions and my words. Here we are.
Here we are. This was wonderful.
Madness.
CPA, thank you so much for
Thank you,
joining us.
CPA.
This was so fun.
Thank you.
Before we start to wrap up and ask you our final question, I would first love for you to tell folks where they can find you online, maybe some upcoming shows.
Plugs.
This will be out in about a week. So if you've got shows in late October that you want to direct folks towards, like tell folks what you got going on.
Cool. Yeah. I'm on all social media platforms. Sorry, I'm horribly sleep deprived and rest deprived and all that other stuff. I am on social media. All my handles, all my things are at CPA Wrestles, as is my Venmo and PayPal, in case you want to help me get to another place that I can get abandoned at.
Yeah, give CPA money.
Money.
Once
Money.
again, I come to you listeners and say, give our guest money.
It's true.
Yeah, especially right now, the things have been. I had to move offices recently, so things have been a little
Tough.
slow.
It's tough. It's tough out here for a CPA.
Yeah.
I don't know what your listener base reach is, but if any of you happen to live in Gainesville, Florida, I will be down there on, I believe, October 29th for Fest Wrestling.
Nice.
Or actually, no, because Fest is like a big deal. So if you're going to Fest on the 29th, or if you're going to Fest this year, which happens every year, it's been going on for like 20-something years now, go to Fest Wrestling. I'll be there. I don't know what I'm doing yet, but whenever I go down there, it's a good time. You get to imbibe, have some PBRs, and watch CPA take clothes off. Yeah, if you follow me on social media, I talk about my things a lot because I want people to go to them so I can make more dollars.
Money. Give CPA money.
Yeah, because like you know, like you get the winner's purse and everything if you win, but also, you know, I want more people to be there so they can buy shirts and have a good time and just throw money at me
Yeah.
as they
Give
as-
CPA money.
yeah.
That's
as
my
I-
3-word review.
Yeah, that's my 3-word review. Silly hometown wrestling and give CPA money. Yeah, follow me on social media. Again, I talk about the things I'm doing coming up early, often, and otherwise.
Awesome. Yeah, and it's really
So, yeah.
easy to do. I've already done it on both Instagram and
did the bit.
I did the bit and on
Man,
Twitter.
you did the bit.
Unfortunately, I have to follow from my video game podcast's Twitter
Yes,
because I've,
yes, we know.
'cause I lost
we
my
know.
personal
Elon
Twitter.
kicked you
It's
out
true.
of,
Ooh.
I stood up for
bird hell.
of bird hell. I stood up for trans people, and apparently that's not acceptable.
Bird hell
Bird
has
hell.
expelled you.
As I've said before many a time, I don't believe in dead naming except for Twitter because fuck Elon Musk. But thank you for joining us,
Anywho.
CPA. This was wonderful.
Thanks,
We're going to
CPA.
thank some
you.
folks, and then Rachel's going to ask you our
Yes.
final question.
Yes.
So why don't we do that?
Cool. Yes, thank you first and foremost to John Presnell of the use of the song Aurora off the album Fair Game featuring Stefan Rimble. It's hard to do that one in the morning.
It's true.
Thanks, John. We love the song.
When in morning, are you okay?
What?
What?
No, we're recording.
Not with a
in the
U,
morning.
with an OR, just an OR.
I am going to chop you so bad one day, CPA. Yeah, thanks, John. The song rules. It's
does.
bop.
It's
It's
bop.
a smash. We love it.
It's true. Also,
Forever. Listen to it.
we'd like to thank the incredible Katie Bug, aka Katie Beastie, for redesigning our awesome logo and making me and Rachel look even hotter.
We look so hot.
So hot. It's
Jeez,
the
I've
hottest.
never looked at a cartoon of myself and went.
Exactly.
But Katie did it.
But Katie did it. Thank you for that. We love our logo. And
Thanks,
also,
Katie. We love you,
a quick
Katie.
shout out and thank you to
thank
the
you.
person who
Thank you.
designs our individual show art, Case
No.
Aiken.
Wrong. Wrong. No.
we
Never.
can't thank
Never.
him? No, okay.
No. He just. How many years have we been at this? Frankly, like
I don't
many
know.
years.
I'm old.
Still, despite every reach out I have done, like, hey, I don't like these periods in the descriptions. I don't like them. Can we not do them?
Doesn't listen.
Every week on the Discord, there it is, just glaring me in the face. So, listen, I'm the one who has been wronged here.
Obviously.
Truly, I am the victim.
You are the
Yes.
victim here.
So no,
We will not
no,
thank
Case
Case
Aiken.
Aiken. Okay.
You and your adorable baby, no.
Okay.
Your precious little bean from above, no.
Why not?
Refusal.
Why don't we, instead of going after Case, thank our podcast network?
I would love to thank the Certain Point of View podcast network, founded in part by Case Aiken, for continuing to let us be a part of the network. You can check out all the shows we have over at certainpov.com. It also includes a Discord server link where you can come accost Case for his punctuation crimes, as I do.
Okay. And also, if you look in the show notes, there's also an invite link to the Discord there, as well as where you can rate and review the podcast. Most platforms have a way to rate and review these days, but specifically Apple Podcasts and Spotify help a lot. So go check
Yeah.
that out.
Give us love
Give us
via
love.
the internet and
Hey,
money.
Rachel, at least
Yes.
if Case left you at a rest stop on purpose, the note he would leave would be like perfectly spelled and punctuated.
Yeah, it's true.
It's true, with periods in between. Just
It's not
I,
you, it's-
period, left,
It's
period,
not
you,
no, it'd
period.
be like, it's not you, comma, it's me.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Period.
Period.
Oh, no.
Well, now, Rachel, it is time to ask our guest our final question.
Oh, gosh. Oh, boy, because we're switching it up now.
Yeah, we have been. You got this. I believe in you.
Yeah. You know what? I am gonna ask it, even though we're not talking about movies and TV, because I actually do want to know like where your narrative heart lies. CPA, if you could choose any one trope that appears in movies and television to instantly and magically become true in your life, which trope would you choose?
Sorry to be difficult, but I am difficult. Can you give me an example?
Yeah, like it always rains at funerals and everybody has black umbrellas, or
That
nobody
one, honestly, no.
nobody hangs up nobody says bye when they hang up the phone in movies, or
They just
yeah, they just like, you know,
they
these
always
like
have flip phones.
things that have sort of become shorthand for narrative but like make the world really weird. You know, like the map with the getting the team together takes like 30 seconds.
Montages.
Yeah, montages.
I think it was in Wayne's World. They were doing, like commercials for like chips and stuff, and the chips are right at the top of the bag. It wasn't like modern times where you have to like put your whole elbow into the bag to get the chips. I want to live in a world like that
Where
it's
the
just
bag is completely filled with chips instead of
literally
all that
completely
air.
full.
Yeah.
I understand it's not like possible. But that's literally the first thing I can think of. I'm sure there's something far more important I could think of.
No, aesthetically pleasing food. That sounds great.
That does sound great. I think that's a
all the
wonderful
food
answer.
looks like it should from all pictures. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's,
Why is
yeah.
there so much air in a potato chip bag? It's unfair. I didn't pay for half of a bag of potato chips. Paid for a whole bag of potato chips.
And on that note, I was at a comic book shop yesterday. I'm not like a comic book person, but one of the people I was driving with was there. Is one and went, and they had a bunch of like branded tumblers, and there wasn't a Pringles tumbler. They were like really tall and shaped like a Pringles can, but there was no Pringles tumbler. I'm like, what are we doing?
What are we doing? Waste. Oh,
what are we
waste.
doing?
Leaving money on the toilet, not even on the table.
Yeah, not even on the table, in the toilet. Well, thank you for that delightful answer and being delightful yourself, CPA. Thank you for joining us. This was wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I guess I will also then now thank my brilliant, delightful, and abandonment co-host, the one and only Rachel Quirky Shank.
Yes, and I would absolutely love to thank my silly hometown wrestling co-host, Matt, aka Stormageddon.
That's me. And of course, we want to thank our incredible listeners. Thank you for being here. We wouldn't have a show
And thank
without you.
Champion for showing up.
And thank you, Champion and Otis.
After
pets.
weeks.
After weeks.
Hi, bud.
Hey. And we will see you on the picket lines or on a couch somewhere. Bye-bye.
Aurora, 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 Aurora. Metal to magnet, she will be mine. Aurora.
That's only one S. Rachel.
I'm not doing anything right now. I'm definitely not typing up descriptions as they're happening.
Why would you do that while I'm talking?
Hey.
Oh, hey, Jeff.
What's going on, guys?
Oh, talking about Superman.
Oh, cool. I could talk about Superman.
I could talk some more about Superman.
We know.
I'll bet a few people would want to get in on this.
I'm down.
You know it.
That sounds like fun. I'll do it.
Cool, let's do it. We can call the show Men of Steel.
And you can find it at certainpov.com.
Or wherever you get your podcasts.
Yay.
CPOV. CertainPOV.com.